Welcome to Stack Solving. This is Java Quarkus beginner series, and in this tutorial we'll be talking about the three ways of how to start our first project in Quarkus. One, we can use the Quarkus command line interface. If you want to see more details on command line interface, link above here. Two, using Maven. And three, from the code.quarkus.io on the Quarkus website, they give you a bootstrapped project to start from. Look at the first method, using the command line interface. In order to learn how to install the command line interface for Quarkus, please check in the description below as well as the link above to see this link tutorial on those details. So I already have Quarkus CLI installed, and by running Quarkus-version, you can see that I have version 2.9 running. Now let's use the create command from the Quarkus CLI to create a project called first project underscore CLI, and that will be our artifact ID, and we shall make our group ID com.stacksolving and give it a version 1.0. All these are in the details of command line CLI Quarkus. So project is creating, and it has finished creating successfully, and as you can see, a folder has been created for the project. And let's get inside the folder, and we can see all the files for Quarkus here. So let's now look at secondly using Maven to create a Quarkus project. So the Maven command is very simple. We start by invoking the IO Quarkus platform, define which version of the Quarkus plugin we want to use in our create command, and then we define our group ID as well as our artifact ID, which will be our project name. And so we're gonna get this command, paste it right into our command line, and proceed to make our project. Make sure you have Maven installed. If you don't have Maven installed, I'll put a link for you to install Maven for any platform you're running on. So head over to your command line. As for me, I'm going to check the Maven version that I'm running. As you can see, I'm running 3.8.2, and so let's now get our code for starting our Maven project previously, paste it here and hit enter. The project starts creating, and once you see there, our project has been created successfully. So once we check our folder, now we have another project created there for Maven, and once we get inside it, it has exactly the same folder structure as before using the command line CLI. And so the project is created. Finally, let's look at using code.quarkus.io, and this is a very beautiful site for Quarkus, and it helps you to start your project. So just head there at code.quarkus.io and then create. So let's now head over to code.quarkus.io on our browser, and so as you can see here, the site is loading now, and so this is the let's code Quarkus page, and as you can see, they give you configuration parameters for your project, and we can change the group, the artifact, and the build tool as well. And in this case, I will just change that to com.stacksolving for our group ID as well as the artifact ID, and change that to first project underscore code.io. And so this side gives you a lot more other things. You could actually manage the dependencies that you want in your project. For now, we shall leave all our dependencies on default, but otherwise you could scroll down and select all the dependencies that you want to include in this project, and it will just bootstrap it all for you. And so now we click on generate, and as we can see, this pop-up comes up and we download the zip that is created for us here. And so this we download to our disk. There it is, download complete. And so we can now look it up here, unzip it, and then we have a complete project finished already. We don't need this zip file anymore, so we can just delete this. Okay, so the file is exactly as those that we have created before using the CLI and Maven, and we can just ls in our folder here. As you can see, now we have a third project, and once we cd inside it the first project underscore code.io, and so we check the file structure, and it's exactly as from before. Next, we shall now run our project in dev mode and try and access the endpoint that is auto created at project creation and see what it gives us. So let's head over to our terminal and cd into one of the projects that we created. Let's now look at the CLI project. So all our files are there, and so we try to run this project in dev mode. So if you have Quarkus command line installed, just type in Quarkus dev and then the project starts to run in dev mode. It is starting right now. Loading our dependencies. And now the server has started, and as you can see, if we go to our browser and try and access it at localhost port 8080, which is the default port that the server is broadcasting on, we can see, congratulations, your Quarkus application is running. So once you get that, the server is running, and once we access the /hello, there you go, and we have our hello from REST resources. Congratulations.